So I recently wrote a blog post titled "The Downside to Making the Most Money You Ever Have," and you probably think it's pretty ridiculous. Like, why? How could that be a bad thing? But there's a lot of people that make a lot of money and they hate their job or they do not enjoy their life, partially because of their job, and they feel like they have the pressure or they've increased their lifestyle to the point where they don't really have a choice at that point. So those are just a couple of the downsides that I mentioned there. Obviously, I'm not going to go into too much depth. You can always check out my strategy guide online and of that same title to look more into that. But really quickly, a couple of the other downsides is, again, that lifestyle creep that occurs. What happens is you're putting a lot of pressure on that income that's coming in. And if there's ever a time where that income were to stop for any reason, if you haven't built up the proper emergency savings, that's the equivalent of that new salary that you've been earning, you're going to be in a drastic situation that is not going to be good at all. You may start to shift into debt. It might cause different issues within your relationship. So that's very important to be aware of. And I would say another thing too is a lot of people don't realize that inflation doesn't just impact the year to year, but over the accumulation of years, the cost of things tend to double between 20 and 30 years from now. And that is going to have a pretty big impact once you are starting to approach retirement. If you're still thinking that you can wait until later to start saving for retirement, but you're spending every single cent that you're getting, or you're not saving nearly as high of a percentage as you would need to in order to fund your retirement, that could be a very stressful situation during the last 10, 15 years of your retirement, or just a super stressful retirement in general. So hit on a lot of the downsides pretty quickly. I'll tell you the positive sides are is if you do manage your financial situation, you can actually make the most of those raises and that pay increase. So there's actually really positive things that could occur if you kind of keep an eye on stuff and manage stuff in a way where you make it work for you. It could mean that you're able to retire sooner. It may mean that although you may not be enjoying your job, that you're able to shift to a career that pays you significantly less if you start doing the things that you need to do today. So yeah, definitely a lot of benefits to doing it. It's just whether or not you're choosing that road to make the most out of the opportunity, because a lot of people don't. They feel like they have time, or they'll do something else in the future, or they just feel like they're too stressed, so they need to spend money to kind of relieve some of that stress. So those are some of the things that I've seen, just whether it's the clients I used to work with that were 50s and 60s, having a tough time trying to retire, even though they've been making $200,000. It's because they've been spending a majority of that and increase their lifestyle to a point where they haven't built up the assets yet to be able to retire on their own terms. So definitely, if you made it this far into it, choose that path of using it as an opportunity, pay off debts as fast as possible, and be able to have that flexibility to retire or have that financial independence. And so then it's really your shot and your call when you are going to be shifting in your career and being able to take possibilities and chances as they come up. Hopefully that's helpful, and feel free to reach out if you ever have any questions.